Hey, so today I want to talk about one of the greatest athletic achievements I've ever seen in my life. I grew up with sports. I followed all sports. Big, huge fan of the Boston Celtics. I was obsessed with Larry Bird growing up. And I have witnessed some of the most amazing athletes that have ever lived. But the greatest athletic achievement I have ever witnessed in person, I want to talk about. So, um, my wife and I, we have been together for over 15 years, and through those years, we have made a big family. We have 5 children, and during the building that family, my wife chose to stay home, be a stay-at-home mother. Well, through those years, just taking care of everybody first. She has gained weight. And then COVID happened. Well, if you were a parent at that time, for 2 years, you were basically a stay at home parent. So she spent so much time and effort to our children and just to make everything function as well as possible. And because of that, she didn't spend enough time on herself and she gained a lot of weight. And she was always discouraged because of that. And we used to do hikes back in the days, and she didn't think she was able to do it anymore. So this past summer, 2023, we had a big trip planned going out to Montana and exploring some of the national parks out there. And she told me, she said, I'm going to do a big hike this summer. And I said, okay. I said, you have about 3 months to be ready. And I said, do what you got to do, and we'll attempt it. And I said, what do you want to do? And she said, I want to do the Highline Trail at Glacier National Park. And I said, you are aware that it's 15 miles? And she goes, yes. I said, okay, just do what you got to do, and we'll give it a shot. Well, that day came, August 1st, 2023. We had just made it to Montana, and we got there late in the evening, and it took about a week to get out there because we were exploring the United States. And 5 kids, counting, and then counting us two, a lot of laundry. So we rented a house about 2 hours from Glacier, this beautiful farmhouse. And she started doing laundry. And she did laundry, and she did some more. And eventually I went to bed. It was about 10 p.m. Well, to get parking at Glacier, you've got to get there early. So about 2 a.m. we woke up, and at about 3 a.m. we left. We got to the parking lot at about 5 a.m. She proceeds to tell me that she's been up all night doing laundry, and she got maybe an hour's sleep. And I'm like, holy cow, you going to be okay? She says, yes. So we start prepping. We make sure everything's packed, and she starts putting on protective moleskin for her feet so she doesn't get blisters. So we start the hike, and it is amazing. Amazing. What just happens that day was, I think, the hottest day of the year in Montana. The low aspects of Glacier was like in the 90s, and I think in that region, this about 6,000 feet, 6,500 feet, it was like 75 to 80. It was much warmer than I was hoping, in bright sun, hot sun. So we go, and initially we're in the shade, and eventually the sun goes past the midpoint, and then all the shade that we were getting, we got into the direct sun. And then she tells me that the moleskin has worn off on her feet, and she has developed some major blisters. This was at about the 4 or 5 mile mark. I'm like, all right. She says, let's keep going. And we kept going. And blisters got worse and worse. Then we get to the hardest part, and this is when you go almost straight up. It's I think 1,000 feet and 0.6 miles. It's to the Grinnell Glacier overlook. And she looks up at it, and you can see all the doubt on her face. And she sits on a big rock, takes a deep breath, sighs, and sits there and thinks for a while. And I just let her think. And she goes, I don't know if I can do this, but I've worked too hard to just turn around. I said, okay, let's just go really slow. So we did. And we went slow pace, and you could see the pain on her face. And she just went and went and went. The grimace on her face was so hard to watch. And we got up there. She sat down in obvious pain. She closed her eyes and put her head down. Took some deep breaths. Then she opened her eyes back up and she took it all in. And I thought to myself, this woman is the toughest person I know. And she is a hero to me. And just witnessing the pain and agony. But she had a goal, and she was going to achieve that goal, and she did it. And it was such an honor to witness her make it, and then watch her look down upon this glorious glacier. It was one of the best moments of my life, and she is truly an amazing person.